Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Grand Arena Zone. I'm joined by Kin. He's in the top 50 right now, I think, and we're going to be looking at some of his footage from Grand Arena. Usually he doesn't share his own footage, only on this show, but if you want to check him out, he has his own YouTube channel, Grand Arena Science, so go check that out. Thanks, Kin, for providing us with these great battles to view.
It is my pleasure. It's always fun to go over some fights and see also your feedback and tell me when I should hit auto instead of playing it out to get better results.
Yeah, man, auto, yeah, you need it with set 9 out there. It's a must.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy how many of the fights really are at risk of going to timeout, especially the big GLs.
Yeah, especially on a computer for me, like because I can't just use my right thumb to click the attack and then my left thumb to switch targets. I have to click, move it, and then it's just way slower. It's a much bigger timeout risk on a computer.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. That's one thing that I've noticed for, well, pretty much all of the content creators. There's very few that actually play on their phone. Most use an emulator. But yeah, that seems like a huge issue because for me, it's much easier just to, click and my thumbs are faster on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, it is easier. It's just really clunky for like recording. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know how to do it. Like if I record something on my phone, I have to like move it to my computer and then voice over it and all this stuff. But yeah, that's why.
Well,
but what do we got here?
Timeouts.
JML and the Jedi Knights.
Indeed. So this is I would say it's not the most difficult Lord Vader comp to fight. Instead of Ninth Sister, who's in there right now at Relic 8, you can have Darth Vader, which makes it a little bit more complicated. But the fight sort of plays out the same. Stats-wise, it's about the same results on GG. So this is essentially not even a great datacron for it from the JML side.
I mean,
it would be better to have more. It's not bad.
56% protection.
Yeah. Did you have anything from set 8 for 56, like for a high protection for JML? Or
my best was like 43. But I'm gonna try to re-roll some on set 9 once we get all the data cache from set 8. Because I have a lot of level 8 re-roll stuff, so I hope I get some good there.
Oh, well, did you see, talking about datacrons, for set 10, besides having the level relic 1, 3, and 5 requirements, they're having the store refresh every 8 hours, which is crazy.
That's amazing for me. I'm gonna get so much data cache. I'm very excited.
And also it allows for, if you're sort of farming, if you're looking to try and not waste your existing data cache, you can actually buy datacrons with shard shop or crystals, I guess, but with shard shop currency, and save your data cache from the previous season a lot easier.
Yeah, no, I mean that's huge too. I mean the only problem is like getting the level 2 upgrade mats. There's not an effective way to get that in the store, so you need to rush to sector 3 to get those. But before I used to I could get 2 datacrons for sure. I could buy one with the charge up currency and one with way too many ally points, and I would do it just because I needed datacrons and I didn't want to waste time on sector 1.
Same.
But yeah, that's an awesome change.
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be great for the early parts of Conquest, especially for the bigger whales. I think you'll go into like week 1, and they'll already have 20 datacrons or something like that.
Yeah, it'll just accelerate for them. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so this counter is actually extremely reliable and easy. The main thing is you just have to mark. I think I would always mark Thrawn first and kill him. And your JKR, your Revan, in the beginning of this fight, I don't know if you noticed, but Revan died right away to Maul. But he was, not died, but he essentially wasted the, protect the recovery part from JML's leadership.
JML's savior-ish thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that can actually be avoided if your JKR is modded better. in this particular setup, mine is modded for offense and speed, which is not good for this comp.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing I've noticed. A few people is changing their JKR modding to be more. You still want some speed, but a lot more protection. Because I think in 5s, at least with set 8, I'm not sure quite about set 9. It's going to change for Jedi quite a bit. But having more protection makes a big difference for JKR.
Yeah.
Versus Lord Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's really kind of the linchpin. I mean, and this works with Shock T instead of Jedi Cal, but I don't know if it doesn't work well against set 9 just because they're too thick. But the problem with that is also Revan.
Yeah.
That thing passed. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking it was actually something on my computer for a moment. I was like, wait a second.
I saw that before. I was like, oh, yep, there's an issue. But yeah, I wish I had Jedi Cal. He's just a pretty nice offensive tool.
He's great. And honestly, I didn't think he was that special at the beginning of the season, for 5v5 in particular. But man, now he's going to have 4 months of being amazing with set 10. There's so much in there for Jedis and for him.
And he only needs to be R5.
Yeah, amazing.
You could probably afford to bump him up. He's worth it. But I was really happy about the relic level bump down. Well, not too much. There's not too much that benefits me, but it's like I can use the Omega one and like Ayla Sakura because they're already R5. I was like, ooh, Omega looks good, but I don't want her at R7.
Same. My Omega is not R7, and I will not move her there.
No way.
Just for her Datacron. So this is another interesting fight. This is not going to be really good, I think, after set 8 expires.
Yeah.
But when you have the warrior level 7 or the level 9, whatever, it makes this fight very easy. Like, they have no burst in the beginning of the fight to kill your Tuscans, which is usually the problem that the Tuscans have.
Yeah.
Like you lose warrior or chieftain or something.
Yeah.
And
that's so much momentum.
Yeah. And the fact that when they die from dots, it doesn't trigger zombies revive is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that is just icing on the cake. And then they're getting ridiculous amounts of dots from your level 6.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very easy counter. Even with Merrin. And this is with the Night Sister level 3 that inflicts plague when a unit dies. So it's harder to find a... look at the damage too.
Yeah,
after
that's
the
crazy damage.
The damage is actually a bit of a problem because you can see 2 of the Tuscans there were low health from plague.
Yeah.
But as soon as they took a turn and got heals, then it was game over.
Yeah, I don't like Night Sisters on defense with Merrin. I think they're an offensive tool. Because
I agree.
You can make it work with Bounty Hunters easily too.
Yep, Bounty Hunters, or it's rare that you'd use Nihilus against Night Sisters, but the instant defeats are...
Yeah, they're extremely valuable here. So this match is crazy.
This is awesome.
It's gonna take a while, but...
So some interesting things about Night Sisters versus Jabba in general. This is the worst comp to go up with Night Sisters because you have Boba in here for the execute.
Permanent kill, yeah.
Exactly. Like, the ultimate goal in this comp is to let one Night Sister die and hit auto basic. But the risk is if you have the bombs spread around, sort of like they are here, that they're not focused on just one. There goes Talzin. So that you lose a whole bunch. And the bombs are both on Talia, Daka, and Ventress, which is like a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they get contract, which they just did, Bush's, there she goes.
Oh yeah. That looks unwinnable. Completely unwinnable.
Yeah. So there's a couple of very interesting dynamics here. First of all, you know that it's Merrin's turn, and You might think, oh, well, it's lucky she doesn't have ability block. Well, when she is alone, whenever a Night Sister revives, she'll get 100% turn meter and go. When she's at 0 turn meter, if she ever has a debuff on her, she'll dispel it automatically. Mm-hmm. So she only does the dispel at 0% turn meter. So when she's alone, she can always meet that criteria, because as soon as she takes her turn, she goes to 0.
Yeah.
A Night Sister is revived and brought back, she goes to 100, but she'll still dispel the debuff on her. So she actually can't be stuck in this stage with a debuff and not being able to use her, in this case, middle ability, which allows for the resurrection. But yeah, it doesn't look like a good situation here.
No, not at all.
But let's see what happens. So, super lucky, I brought back Asajj.
Yeah.
Because now Asajj can stack.
And that whole team died really fast there.
Yep. And here at 4 minutes, after my whole team was dead, turned on auto basic, and you'll see how wonderful this is.
Yeah, you're really lucky that he didn't. If Boba executed Asajj, you would have been toast.
Maybe. The thing is, I don't think so, because with Talzin, having Talzin come back is actually sort of beneficial because she applies more plague with her basic, or does damage with her basic coming back. So the stacking from Talzin is nice, but even in 3s, I've won the fight without Talzin involved at all. 3 with just... Oh yeah, sorry, without Asajj at all.
Okay.
Just with Talzin, Daka, and Merrin, with both Talzin and Daka dead and only Merrin alive. I've beat Jabba in 3s like that as well.
Dang,
so in 5s, it's
Asajj ramp.
No, it makes it easy. Like, you finish the battle with a lot of time to spare. But it's actually easier. Well, the easiest situation is Merrin being alone. However, I think it's in 5s, it's faster, I guess, with Asajj ramp in there. Because she stacks up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you just got a casual 161 stacks of plague up there. And just lost 50.
Yeah. The nice thing, too, about having Daka and Talzin, or Daka and Asajj alive, is both of them gain quite a bit of TM when the Night Sisters are revived or killed. And this is actually with the Merrin bug, which is preventing her from taking... when there's other allies alive, it's preventing her from taking turns over and over and over again, like as she should with her Omicron.
Yeah.
So it helps to have Daka and Talzin or an Asajj in there to take the turns and let Merrin take another turn.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, this is like the first successful Night Sister vs. Jabba I've actually seen. I don't think I've seen anywhere like you actually kill Jabba. And spoiler, that does happen here.
Yeah. Well, this whole week or last week, I guess, week 2, I did it successfully. Once you have the strategy down, which for me at least is no Night Sister spirit, no zombie, let one Night Sister die and hit auto basic, I've won all of them with plenty of time to spare. Even this one, which is like a worst case scenario where you lose one of the Night Sisters.
Yeah, you got over a minute left. Wow.
Yeah.
Well done. That was a good one.
It's fun. I love this team, and I'm really looking forward to having the bug fixed whenever that is. I think that'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah. I didn't even know about that bug, honestly. If I don't have a character and don't have to face it a lot, I have very limited knowledge on them. And no one says Merrin.
Yeah, I think that's mostly it. Merrin is so uncommon to see on defense. So here's I think it's the best counter to any Seer team, even including ones with ATF in there.
Okay.
With Ahsoka Fulcrum. But I misplay this quite a bit. Like, the easiest way to do this is to put Ki-Adi-Mundi in defensive stance and then win. But in this case, I didn't. I stalled it out a little bit longer than I necessarily needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But Mace is sort of filling that role anyway. And the reason initially why I brought in both Mace along with Getty Moody, is because I was afraid with a Ray in there that she would exactly what happened, daze Mace and prevent him from taunting.
Yeah.
But in the end, this is
I got worried for a second because this reminded me I meant to put Qui-Gon on defense and take Reva on offense, which I did. I ended up doing that. But I thought, because I remember I was having this debate in my head whether to set Mace with it or not, and I couldn't remember if I actually did set the team or if I meant to come back to it. But I did set it. I do have Reva, which I need for offense, so that was a little relief.
Is your Qui-Gon Jinn team set up to be like fast, and you have like JKA fast and Qui-Gon Jinn fast to beat the BB teams, the Bad Batch teams, or?
Not quite. I mean, Kitty Moody's kind of fast, but no, I just set them. I'm like I'm a lazy modder. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to use this on offense. I'm just going to set it. If they use Bad Batch, that's fine. That means I can't use Bad Batch somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a throwaway.
No, I'm same actually with my particular, with the Qui-Gon Jinn team in general. Their mods are terrible. I don't think I've touched any of the units mods
Nice.
in like a year, but they're so effective in this meta, especially on offense, because there's a lot of teams that don't have a taunt avoid, and you can just sit there. It's sort of crap banners, but you can just whack away.
I don't really like. Yeah, my Qui-Gon has like 200 speed. I just put offense on him, like flat offense as much as I could, because that's what gets transferred. It's not like the speed offense.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting too, with this set 10 coming up. Oh, I was really unsure about this fight. I did not know how it would go. I don't know if I would try it again with like a better Datacron set on the other team, but it gets messy.
Yeah, Saul is like, I don't think he's that good or valuable, but you can't just like take crap against him. You need something good. And
in a way, he sort of reminds me of like either Mon Mothma or Iden, actually.
Yeah.
Where they got some hard counters, but if you don't have those hard counters, it can be a timeout.
Yeah.
But yeah, set 10 with Qui-Gon Jinn, all the stacking, the foresight giving stacking offense is going to be pretty crazy.
That's exactly what I pegged for them. Another thing that stands out to me in that set is grit for Wookiees. That's going to make a Tarful team.
Holy.
That's going to be rough.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, the first thing that popped in my mind is like, oh, are they supposed to stop the new Phoenix team with their special Datacrons? Because the Phoenix look crazy powerful also.
Yeah.
But they inflict a lot of dots.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, and they do a lot of swarm attacks, so if you have Tarful against the Phoenix and you're getting who knows how many...
Right. Hold on, sorry to interrupt you. Right there, you killed him with Death Mark. Why did he come back?
Okay.
You killed Scarecrow Pathfinder. Like, Death Mark was just straight up on him.
Yeah.
Did he dispel right before he died?
That's a great question. I didn't notice that before.
You got robbed.
I thought it's only when... I think for Death Trooper, it's if you kill them with the application of Death Mark, they cannot be revived. But I don't think it's like in the Darth Revan team where if Death Mark is there and they get killed, they can't revive.
No, that's what Death Mark is, isn't it? Like, I thought that's just what Death Mark did. Like, once they're down, they can't come back.
I very well could be wrong.
I don't know.
I'll look at it after this is over.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Certainly something is a little funky there, if that's how Death Mark is supposed to function.
Yeah, maybe I'm
yeah. So let's see what happens here. Death Mark. He died that time, and I'm backing up a little bit. He had a buff. So he had a buff. Technically, that's what allows him to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a buff. Yeah.
And
I don't know why it didn't work the first time.
yeah, that's strange. Maybe
Weird.
does Saw have any part of his kit where, like Shorty, where he allows somebody to come back or something?
No idea. Let me.
Okay, here we go. While you're looking it up, we're moving on to another Tuskens versus Santa fight.
Yeah.
Santa with Hondo, and Hondo has the Omicron. And this is one of the fights where, to give him the first move. I think it could go badly if, like maybe if they put whatever the capture move on Warrior. Or maybe if they focus down one of the characters that are like probably Shaman, who's the weakest. But as soon as that first initial bit is over, this fight is so easy.
Yeah.
I'm really going to miss using Tuskens on offense in the next season.
I still have yet to do it in Grand Arena. It's just because it's one of those teams I lazily sit on defense, and people, if they're not ready for it, like where I play, like I'm not in the top 100 usually, like I can get away with a little bit more.
You've been getting really close though. You're like constantly in the top 150, 200, something
I'm
like that?
like 200 something right now. I did get into the top 100, but then I got skunked, so.
Next time you come back, you'll know the little tricks to expect. And it really is I feel like it's a different, you sort of have like the top 20 or 30 meta, then you got the top 100 meta, then I feel like 100 to 400-ish, 500-ish seems to be somewhat similar.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how much things change just going up a few spots.
Yeah, it is.
So here's another. I used to, back when Resistance, when Ray was much more popular, when she had her Datacron set, I was frequently keeping Java for offense versus her because it was just very annoying to try and beat her with Starkiller or J&K or something like that. And this season, I've gone back to doing that because, at least versus the opponents that I'm fighting, most of the time, they know how to use Starkiller well enough to one-shot Ray, or excuse me, Ray's another thing. They know how to use JMK or SLK enough to one-shot Jabba. And a number of them have the Night Sisters, which, I mean,
cheap.
Not a lot of them are doing, a very, very cheap two-shot at least. So I decided to take my Java on offense just because this is like a very sort of time-consuming, but it's a very easy 60-plus banner win.
Yeah. It's a lot of bombs on Ray there.
Yeah.
20-something.
This is an annoying comp, though, because it has Barris and JTR and Cal. I sort of don't mind Cal and Ray teams, though, because it means they're not going to be in the Steer team. So it's almost like a...
True.
Save me time someplace else.
So you blew up all the bombs on Ray. You just wanted to get rid of them? You didn't want to save them for later?
I'm just spamming specials at this point.
Ah, okay.
The only thing I'm doing this fight is spamming specials and avoiding to kill Ben until the very end. Because once he's died and comes back, then you can't get him with Java. So really it's just a spam.
Yeah,
I think I kill... like it's... I think if you're not used to doing it, you may... I mean, not you in particular, but like in general, you see some of these time out, but it's mostly because people are trying to think too much, and this fight is just spam specials. And the first alt takes a little bit because you have to get to contract, and then you can use Embo to spam more because he doesn't get his like special additional move until bounty hunters have their contract.
Yeah.
And that's what helps a ton with the speed here. But if you notice, the first alt took like a little over a minute, and each of the other ones take like 35 to 45 seconds.
Is it speed up after you get the first alt or after you get contract? I forget.
After contract is the main thing.
Okay.
But a little bit after first alt also, because that's one less unit on the board that's moving. So like you can take
true.
Jabba teams turns more frequently.
Yeah, I wish animation speed and like just the fact that characters are taking turns wasn't such a factor, because it's like sometimes they're never gonna kill you, but just they take a long time to do their mechanics. Like Boosh, if you're going against Jabba, she just is so slow to throw her bombs.
Oh, have you seen any videos of Nisa?
Nisa's the worst. Yeah, she's horrible.
I think she is going to be going on defense. People will just put her on defense because unless you take in like a really strong counter, she's going to time teams out. It looks, ugh.
That's going to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
And here you're just stalling to get to ult with Jabba to kill Ben.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And the nice thing about Jabba ult too is that you can do it in Rey's ult.
Right. Well, she's an ult.
It's not blocked.
And here I've thought about this. I wish she could die in ult, because if she can't be defeated when Ben's there, she should have 1 HP. And I wish you could kill her with a hit that was 1 damage, but she can't.
You absolutely can. Yeah.
You can kill her in ult?
I am 99.999% certain that she can die in ult, yeah. I've seen her die to 1 damage in ult before.
I've never seen it. I've like been in situations where I thought I'd get that to happen, and it didn't happen. But maybe
I have absolutely seen it. There's some conditions, like I think if Rey is there and you crit and she regains health, the crit would still kill her if she's at 1 health. Because the death would happen before the health regeneration. But that's the end of the video here. Oops.
All right, nice.
Let's go to the loading screen.
You had more wins this time. Weren't showing off all the losses.
No, that's very true. Actually, it's because in this fight, or in this the last couple of weeks, the only losses that I had were ones where I was testing stuff out. So like I was expecting them to lose, sort of, or I wasn't surprised that I was losing. I didn't really. I'm thinking carefully before I try and boost myself up a little too much. I didn't have any bad misplays this season so far.
I believe it. But I mean, good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a fun season. I really love this meta currently that we have. Like so many opportunities to use off-tier teams, when you're not using just a GL versus a GL all the time.
Right.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been pretty fun, except I've had Java issues, but I hope I can handle those better with auto Lord Vader. As long as I don't eat Maul, I'm confident against Java.
Yeah, that's a nice counter. Works well. Yeah, with the bulk for Lord Vader makes such a huge difference too.
Yeah. It's like impenetrable. I tried Lord Vader with Night Sisters against a I tried Slicker with Night Sisters against a Lord Vader with Reva and Grand Inquisitor and TW, but I messed it up because, one, I joined Territory War without the square mod applied to Kylo Ren, which was plus 25 speed, the offense. It was only the health set. It wasn't a speed set. So it wasn't the worst, but then I also I had my debuffs collapsed and didn't notice I had healing immunity. And I held off on a 1-turn ult trying to get a 2-turn ult, and I just died. But I could have made it work even without the mod. I was like, dang it.
Yeah, that's annoying. Do you use hot utils or you do manual mod changes?
The only time I use hot utils, and I've only had it a couple months because I got a free copy from someone in my guild. The only time I use it is after I do the crate raid, I'll like put the mods manually on the characters for the teams I want to use for crate raid, and then to put all my mods back, I'll just reset it to my baseline.
Right.
But I still don't enjoy switching mods with hot utils either. I don't think it's that much easier.
Yeah, it's a nice tool, but I don't use it at all just because I'm leery. Oh, I know they do a lot of stuff security wise to log in on behalf of your account.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've gotten so used to having like you. I'm sort of a lazy modder. I rarely ever change my mods.
Yeah.
Basically, just for territory wars, a few little tweaks here and there, and then for the raid, I do change but it's mostly just a set change. Like I'll move one set from one character to another.
Yeah,
the individual ones.
The raid is the most annoying because my set for Jedi Knight Revan is like completely different than any set I use for any character. There's just high crit chance with offense and speed. So it's pulling from like 5 different characters. That's when it gets really annoying to put it back.
Yeah, the Old Republic team is worse. I have a similar sort of weird setup for my Zalbar. Like make him faster than some other characters. And, yeah, it's a bit annoying.
Mods, man. But all right, yeah, this was good. Thanks for recording that again. Any parting words for the audience?
Save up your Shard Shop currency and get ready to make sure you don't waste data cache for Datacrons. I think that's like a huge quality of life change.
Yeah.
For
that's awesome.
Regular people.
Yeah, 100%. Keep an eye on it, people. Next week, I'll be doing my Datacron review sometime towards the beginning of next week.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks, Ken. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to like and sub. See ya.